Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by the Belly Up Sports Network. We're just, what a show we have for you today. Does the talk match the walk? We just signed a wide receiver. We've had two moves by the organization that are considered major moves. And so far, in the way too early in the process, want to get into that. But first, let me bring in my co-host, the man of steel himself, Curt Steele.
What up, no? Welcome to the show, people. You know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. And as always, subscribe to the channel. Join the family. We don't got fans. We don't got viewers. We got family. And it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Now let's get this thing started.
Right now.
Let go. All right, welcome back to the show. The big news of today, yesterday, was the signing of one Tyrell Williams by the Detroit Lions. Per Ian Rappaport, Williams' base salary will be $4.7 million. Williams notably spent the first 4 years of his career with the Chargers between San Diego and Los Angeles with the current Lions offensive coordinator, Anthony Lynn. For 2 years, two of those years, in those two seasons, Williams made 84 receptions for 1,361 yards and 9 touchdowns. After his successful stint with the Chargers, he signed a 4-year, $44 million deal with the Raiders. In 2019, he hauled in 42 catches for 651 yards and another 6 touchdowns. Unfortunately for Williams, he lost his entire 2020 season due to a torn labrum and was subsequently released just over a week ago, saving the Raiders $10 million in cap space. So $4.7 million up to $6 million with incentives. Sounds like for me, it's on the cheap for a receiver who's talented, really has some good intangible, good upside, big receiver, 6'4", good speed, good separation, and a type of receiver that's Jared Goff excels with. Somebody with some size and somebody who can get separation. And look at the Lions. We know that that's an issue for us over the past couple of seasons. But I know that Jim is itching to talk about this. So in the annals of does the walk match the talk, Jim, what are your thoughts, your initial thoughts on the signing of Williams to the Lions roster?
Well, first of all, let me go into the title that we got today. Does the talk match the walk? I love me some Dan Campbell. I love me some the whole thing that they've built. But the first two moves that they've made, I really don't like. And I know this is going to come as a big shock to everybody. But you know what? I hate to say this. Same old Lions to me. I just don't like it. We've had a history of signing injury-prone players. Is Williams an injury-prone player? Well, let's see. He showed up for 14 out of 36 of his last, or 32 of his last games. I don't like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I'm just saying I don't like it because we've signed somebody. I've had a torn labrum. It's not fun, but it is something you can come back from. Can he be 100% coming in? He can be. I'm not going to say he is. We've had other players. DeAndre Levy ring a bell. How about Trey Flowers when he first came in with a shoulder injury? He wasn't right till probably almost the end of the season, and we've only got this guy for 1 year. You know, what about carry on out of this town Johnson? What about these players that we've Austin Bryant, Deshaun Hand, Javid Best? We love injured players. We love them to death, and a lot of times it doesn't work out for the Lions. I don't like this move because I don't know if he's going to be available. He's had plantar fasciitis in both feet. That's an injury that especially for a wide receiver, can cause some concern. Now, he had a whole season to be off with that injury to get that healed up too, but it's not just one injury. So I am concerned. I'm concerned with the direction so far. Now, that being said, it's really, really early in the process. We've only made 2 moves. right? The other move I didn't like was to getting Jared Goff. The rest of the trade, I'm great with. You know, if we're going to get rid of Stafford, let's get 2 first rounds and a third. But if you're telling me Jared Goff is the answer because he's won a Super Bowl, he's had playoff games, blah, 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 blah. The Rams paid 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick to get his rear end out of town. So I'm not thrilled with getting that and the contract that he came with. So the first 2 moves, in my opinion, yes, we got draft capital, but yes, we got Jared Goff handicapping us in free agency unless we cut a ton of players, which is what we're going to have to do. Oh, and by the way, bye-bye Kenny Galladay, because we just got another receiver for $4 million. You're done. You're toast. I don't think Kenny's coming back. What is your thoughts on, does the talk match the walk?
Okay, let's talk about. Okay, let's get into the first thing with the injuries. Looking at that prior to his career, prior to the injury that happened last year, he only missed of the games that he actually was played in. He only missed 2 games in the last few seasons. So you got to look at it. Like 2017, 2016, 2017, 2018. He played in all 16 games, every one of them. He may not have started every game, but he played in all 16 games. So in the 2019 season, he missed 2 games with the injury. So that's his rookie year. He missed 9 games because he was low on the depth chart. The guy was an undrafted free agent coming out of college. And look at the players he was behind: Keenan Allen, Malcolm Floyd. So he wasn't going to play his rookie season coming out of college with those guys ahead of him on the depth chart. So basically, in his pro career, where he actually really made substantial playing time on the field, he missed 2 games in a season because of the torn labrum. Now, am I saying that it's not a serious injury? No, I'm not. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that that's something that that I can feel that he can come back from. He had the surgery to correct it, so he didn't he didn't just try to rehab it. He had the surgery to have it medically repaired, and that's, to me, that's better to come back from than just trying to rehab it. He actually had the surgery and then is going to do rehab. So he took the long-term medical approach to it, to play the long game, to get the injury corrected and not just try to rehab, because a lot of players re-injure themselves just trying to rehab it and not actually having, medical procedures to get things corrected. Now, am I saying he's going to be 100% right out the gate? No, I'm not saying that at all. Am I saying that is there a chance that he could come in in a better situation than some players? Probably so, in my opinion. I'm not saying that that's going to be the case. I think he's going to come in healthier than some people have, because he took the whole year off. Like Trey Flowers, when we signed Trey Flowers, he played most of that season in New England. So he came in injured off of playing a whole season. This guy's coming off where he was able to rehab and recover for a whole year, and he's coming in a little bit fresher. So, and again, I would rather have a wide receiver coming in off of the injury such as Williams than a wide receiver coming off a major leg injury like a torn ACL or Achilles, something like that. Because he's still going to be able to keep his top end speed and be able to separate, and it gets he had a whole year to rest his legs and his feet with the plantar fasciitis. I've had plantar fasciitis for almost my whole life just because I got big ass feet for a guy who's only 5'10". And so that, some extra weight on them things. So they're a little bit long and flat. So, it happens. But, a little personal information about your boy, Curt. All right. So I absolutely love the move. I'm not saying I love the move. Do I like the move? I'm okay with it because of the fact that you're bringing in a guy who doesn't have as much tread on his tires as a lot of guys his age. And you're bringing in a guy who can get separation, which we haven't had in Detroit at the wide receiver position in eons since Calvin Johnson has left the team. I mean, so you're getting that, and you're getting a person with familiarity. That's one thing that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell said. They want to bring in players that have familiarity. And he had his best seasons in the league under who? The new offensive coordinator, Anthony Lynn. So I'm looking at it that from that
and Jared
standpoint.
Goff, right?
And Jared, Jared, he didn't play with Jared Goff. He played with a player that was similar to Jared Goff. Played with Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
So
that's very true.
Pocket passer. And
in the back.
Yeah, in the pocket. So he got to get down the field. So he wasn't the most mobile guy, but he was able to excel in those type of environments. Played out a year out there with Derek Carr as well. So
we always hope for the best. But he's 29 years old.
I'm kind of looking at it as an objective.
A lot.
Objective. I mean, for you say he's missed a lot. I'm saying that's not the case.
Oh, and I'm saying it is the case. Because he's missed 14. He's played 14 games in the last 32.
Because he missed an entire season with an injury. But before that, 2016, 16 games. 2018, 16 games. 2019, 14 games. That's not a lot of missed games.
No, it is though.
That's not a lot. You can't compare one season with one injury. Tom Brady in 2008 missed 15 games due to a torn ACL.
Yep. But Brady's had a lot longer of a career, and this kid's 29 years old. Okay, so he's approaching that magical 30th year. 30
in the NFL now is not 30 in the NFL from years ago.
Well, Danny Amendola would tell you differently.
I don't look at it I don't look at it the same way. You look at Marvin Jones, who's a free agent. People are going to be looking for Marvin Jones. The guy's in shape. The guy played 29. He was 29 last year, and look at the season he had last year.
Yeah, no,
he was 29 years old.
No issues with that, but Marvin Jones has been injured as well. I mean, let's not make no mistake about that. Marvin Jones has missed his share of games too.
Marvin Jones had a
so is Kenny Galladay.
About 1,000-yard receiving year.
Oh, he was
last year. He missed that because of the fact that one play took his 1,000-yard receiving yards away from him in that season at 29.
Yeah. We got some big stuff on that coming up in a future show. We got how the Lions are treated differently in the NFL.
Now, don't get me wrong, brother. I understand exactly where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. Oh, more injured players, same more Lions. I'm looking at it as, okay, I'll wait and see.
And I think most people are saying wait and see, but I've heard this debate in a lot of different groups, in a lot of different formats.
So much going on.
They are really, really, and it's like, because we want to be excited, right? Dan Campbell. We want to be excited. Sheila's doing this whole new thing with all these minds and all this input, and you have all these great thinkers in there, and this is what you come up with?
Well, here's the case.
To me, that's just not, it's not lining up with what I want. I expect.
Here's the deal with me. In the information age, everyone's an armchair general manager.
Yes, I agree with that.
Fans are automatically armchairs, and until you sit in that seat and have to really deal with personnel issues you're on your own, and deal with that stuff. Fans are going to see what they want, and that's not what I want. And we can do let's look at the analytics, and you have things like PFF, and you have these stats, stat websites, and with the information age, then you get people who believe that they're, with their armchair GMs, they're like, oh, that's not what, and I can say that because I'm guilty of doing it myself. I am.
We all are.
Because as fans, you're with the more informed fan, you see more things that you didn't see it back in the day behind the scenes, because you look at stats and analytics and
but we all know there's a larger plan at play.
Yeah.
Right. But this is just one piece of the puzzle. We don't have the puzzle. So I'm not saying
at all.
Oh, it's same old Lions right now, and it's terrible. But the first two moves, I'm not happy with. I'm not great. Yeah. I'm not great with Jared Goff. I think, why are we paying this guy so much money and to bring him here when, to be honest, the team that got rid of him wanted to get rid of him so bad, they gave us 2 first rounds and a third to get him out of the door. And that means Matthew Stafford was that big of an upgrade, and he's that big of a downgrade. And you want to say he's won all this stuff? He did, with a great team.
Here's my deal. I think that kind of gets extended to kind of relieve some of the cap. And I don't think it's going to be more of a long term, unless he really plays well above what his contract is going to be. I don't think he's going to be really in Detroit for a long. I think he's a bridge guy right now. I just think that's just what it is.
But that's a lot of money for a bridge guy.
But like I said, I think they still gets restructured, and some of that money gets kick the can down the line to make some room for this season.
Can't kick it too far because he's only here for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, he's actually here long. He has that 3rd year option, so it's.
Oh,
I mean that 3rd year. Yeah.
I don't think we got.
He might be here. He's only technically on the books for big money for 2 years.
Now,
but that 3rd year,
he goes out and balls and he becomes the guy he used to be. I hope so. I hope this wide receiver. But you know what? In Detroit, we have something called hopium and Kool-Aid, and we drink it and we ingest it. Right?
Yes, we do. We do
all off season, and when we get to the regular season, people like me who keep telling people that this is not the right way to go, but they start finding out.
I'm not saying that this is the. I'm not saying he's going to be the. I might even think he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver.
I don't either.
I don't think he's going to be the X wide receiver. He might be the Y, or he may maybe play a bigger slot.
He might play the big slot.
I think Quintez Cephas his role is going to expand. I think his rookie year
I actually think Quintez Cephas is going to be our 4th wide receiver.
You think Cephas is going to be 4?
Yep.
Man, I don't see that.
I think we're still
more talented than what people think.
We're still going to go ahead and get another wide receiver in free agency.
So you think Cephas is going to be 4th on the depth chart?
Yes.
Wow, absolutely. That's a bold prediction. Yeah. Wow.
And here's why. Okay. So the guy they just signed, do you think he's under Cephas when he has that familiarity with Goff and he's 6'4" and he's got some speed? If he's healthy, he's above him on the depth chart. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I disagree.
Really? You think Cephas is going to be better than you think Cephas is better?
I think Cephas will be the 2 receiver. I think the Cephas will be the 2 receiver.
I think we're going to go and we're going to get another decent name wide receiver. I don't mean name wide receiver, but somebody that's really, really good. I think that if we do franchise and keep Kenny Galladay, I don't think Cephas is above him.
No, Cephas does not. We know Cephas ain't above.
Right. And I'm saying we're going to probably really shore that up. And even if we get if we get a wide receiver early in the draft, which a lot of people don't like, but if that's the value and that's the best player available, I don't know. See, I think we're going to really fill up that wide receiver position. I really do. I think he's going to be driven further down the depth chart. That's just what I see right now.
I'm looking at it where I don't think we keep Kenny with this move. I don't think we keep Kenny Galladay. I think he's gone. And I think that moves Cephas up the depth chart.
And it could have.
Just because of the fact, if you look at how he played in his rookie campaign, once he actually got on the field, if you look at him when he was under Darrell Bevell as the head coach, he blossomed. He really, like the end of the year, he really put up some really good numbers.
I mean, he uses his body for separation. But he doesn't get a lot of separation with speed. He really doesn't have.
Yeah, but he has a skill set that is.
Yeah, he does.
He has a particular skill set that can work and that can.
But I think Goff is going to need somebody more
throwing lanes for Jared Goff. He can create some throwing lanes. That's what he can get himself open.
I
like that with Cephas.
I think that.
But
we'll see. I don't think they're done at wide receiver. Let me tell you.
I don't think so either. And I think there is going to be a total. And that's one thing that Brad Holmes said. He said, look how easy or fast that he overhauled the Rams offense in the wide receiver room. So it will happen. It will happen because we pretty much coming into the offseason. I mean, we already knew that the cupboard was pretty bare at the wide receiver position.
That's true. But first guy we get is a wide receiver, and apparently to some people, this guy's a really, really good player.
I mean, he is a good player. I mean,
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying, is Cephas above him or below him? Do you think?
To me, I think that Cephas is. I think that I think Williams right now, to me, is a 2B, a 3 wide receiver, and I think Cephas is a 2 right now. That's just my opinion. Just because just based off the performance of the end of last season.
Yeah, no, I totally get you on that. I don't hate any opinion right now because you know what? It's so dang early.
It is so
we
early.
Don't know.
But it is so early. But that is our really opinion. Does the talk match the walk?
What do you guys think about that?
I think the jury is still out.
Oh, of course it is.
It's so
There's
early.
only 2 moves.
So early. Yeah,
we can't rush to judgment. We don't know the whole pieces of the puzzle, and I get that. But I think it has some merit to start talking about it when the first 2 moves, in my own opinion, are not exactly what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm expecting the world because of all the people they brought in and all the intelligent people, the football guys they brought in.
But for me, for you, and Doug, I'm what do you call that? I'm gonna dig out the receipts right quick. You said it's going to be a down year.
Yeah, I
so
did.
why?
Absolutely. No. But I'm looking at the direction that they're heading. I'm looking at the moves that they make, because the moves that they make are going to be under the microscope, because this is how this new regime is going to operate.
Okay.
And if we're looking at the first two moves and we extrapolate out, we can see what they're kind of looking for, how they're going to approach things. Do they have a hands-off approach to injury players that have been injured recently? And the answer is no at this point, from what we've seen.
With one, but it's one move.
It's one move. But I said it's only two moves, and I'm not thrilled with either of them.
Yeah.
So that's what we were saying.
But here's my deal with the Williams, and let's close out with the Williams thing.
Yeah.
I think you got something. And it's a whole bunch of ifs and whats and buts and all that stuff like that with coconuts and everything, and however the soliloquies that goes with that. If you get a healthy player in Williams, he brings a particular skill set that we've missed in Detroit, and it brings in a player with familiarity that has a skill set that fits Jared Goff as a quarterback.
And if he's not healthy, we wasted $4 million on a cap that we don't have a lot of room on.
Well, we about to get some cap because
yeah, I think that's coming.
The reports and this is the national media. Before we close this out, the national media is predicting a bloodbath in the next couple of days.
You know what? That is something
they're predicting. Like, it's going to be a bunch of cuts. Players that you didn't even think there was going to be on the cut line from teams are going to be gone because of the salary cap implications and and it's really going to depend on the revenue shares from the new TV deal.
Yep.
If the new TV deal pushes the salary cap up, then it may be a little. But if it stays where it is, or just moves up a little bit, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be some restructuring. I mean, those cap out. Disney is going to be so busy trying to get the Lions where they need to be with the salary cap, and that's going to be all around the league.
And in a future show, we are going to make that a main topic, because this could really benefit the Lions, and I think free agency is going to be completely different than any other year you've ever seen.
It's going to be so different.
And so we'll discuss that in another show. Right now, we're going to go to the Wall of Fame, and who is on the Wall of Fame today? And that would be Bubba Bo on our Detroit Lions on the Prowl membership, and that we call that our bronze membership. That's Detroit Drew and Midwest Lion are on that level. Next level up, we got Noma's J, friend of the show, was in the chat yesterday. Got a good talk with him yesterday. And then we have Dr. Detroit on the gold level. We also have Gridiron Blitz on the gold level. And we have Randy Prince on our gold level. Thank you for being a member.
Watson.
What?
Randy Watson. What I'm saying? Sexy chocolate, Randy Watson, right? Randy Prince. It's a Coming to America reference.
Right. Yeah. It's been a while, and they got a new one coming out.
Coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Randy, thanks to all those guys that's on the Wall of Fame. We really appreciate your support here on the program.
If you want to be on the Wall of Fame, just look up below the video. It'll say join now. You can get more information on that and become a member today with those new fire emojis that we got going on. I think those are really cool, and you get to use those in the chat and in the comments and in the premieres. So there's going to be a lot going on there, and just appreciate all of that. So now we're going to go into our news and rumors section today. And what you got? You got the first one there, Curt. What do you got?
All right, now the Detroit Lions are serious about a winning culture, and not just on the field, but off the field as well. They're so serious, they created a culture task force.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, the task force consists of 4 members: Chris Spielman, Senior Advisor of President and Business Development; Kelly Gozzoli, and then Senior Director of Community Relations and Detroit Lions Charity, Jen McCullum; and husband of team owner Steve Hamp. Now, we know that the Hamps are philanthropists and they give to their communities. So their goal is to establish a healthy and sustained organization cultured based on teamwork and bridging the gap between the football side of the operations and the business side. So basically, they want to marry it up where it's the same thing on both sides. We have a successful group over here and a successful group over there, and it is a more cohesive team. I like the fact that they're intertwining the football side and the business side, where you know what this guy over here, on one hand, you have one person doing this, one person doing this on the other side, but they know what each other are doing, and it makes for a more cohesive organization. And it's just not like, hey, I don't care what that guy's doing over there. He's on the business side. Or I don't give a crap what that guy's doing over there because he's on the business side. Hey, we should be, to build a better organization, we need to know what everyone's doing. Not saying that we're mailing in each other's side, but we know what each other is doing.
Absolutely. And they you know what, again, hats off to Sheila and Chris Spielman and all that they've actually created this. Now, in the article, it does say he's like a 65% of the time that culture building fails, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think that it is a tough sled, but I think that we're shining the light on it and we're focusing on creating a winning culture, both sides of the ball. I love this approach. And again, all the talk coming out of Allen Park for me is so positive. I just want to see it on the field. Yep. TJ Hockenson says ex-GM Bob Quinn / Howdy Doody told him he liked to have way too much fun. Really? I mean, this is crazy. He said 6 months after he drafted me, he was like, "You're not the same guy I drafted. You like to have fun way too much." And he said he and the hosts at the show burst into laughter and said, "I was like, well, you're not wrong. I like to laugh and I like to have fun. That's my thing. I mean, not too many people get to. I'm playing a kid's game." I don't know if that was meant in a serious way that he was upset with him or it was meant in a fun way. For me, I'm not sure. What do you think about this?
Man, Bob Quinn, go sit down somewhere. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, he's still a kid. I mean, The guy's still in his 20s. What is he supposed to be doing? He's playing a kid's game. The guy works harder than anyone I've seen at the tight end position that plays for the Lions in a long time. The guy is a grinder. Have you seen his workout videos he's been doing?
Oh my God.
We're out there, man. He works. Ooh. So you work hard, you should be able to play hard.
Heck
Why shouldn't he be able to have fun?
What do you think Dan Campbell would say about this?
Man, I think
probably join him.
Probably like, yeah, let me get in and let me get a couple reps in, with my whole body. You know what I'm saying? And it's just,
join him in the fun.
Yeah, I mean, like it's what's that old business? What's that mind the business you're paid to mind?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you minding his kids off the field activity. I mean, he doesn't get into trouble. He just likes to have fun. So I don't get that, but it's all good. I
get Lions fans that don't want us to talk about Patricia and Quinn because they're gone and we're into a new thing, and I get that. But these are the articles that are out there, guys. So we're giving you the broad spectrum of the news from our perspective.
Yeah. It's one of those. I just wasn't ecstatic about the comment from Bob Quinn, who looks like he probably has fun, looking at what do you call that? What's those catalogs? He looks at Pottery Barn catalogs to have fun or something like that, or favorite color is sage or something like that.
Okay, there couldn't be anything more lame than that. There really couldn't be. What do you got next, Curt?
All right. Former Lions outside linebacker Kyle Van Noy was unexpectedly cut by the Dolphins. Now, this goes to what I was saying, that the national media say it's going to be a bloodbath with cuts this offseason before the league starts. Former Detroit Lions outside linebacker was unexpectedly cut by the Dolphins is once again on the free agent market. Now, it saves the Miami Dolphins $10 million of cap space, where they have now a $4 million cap hit on Van Noy's contract. He signed a $51 million deal for 4 years, including $30 million fully guaranteed in monies. So the Dolphins avoid eating a ton of cap space with this move right before the league year when the guaranteed salaries would escalate. It's just one of those moves where it may not be where now he didn't have a bad season. I looked at his numbers. He didn't have a really bad season. He didn't have a down season in Miami. I think it's just a salary cap casualty where they need to make some room to bring in some more players that and maybe want to get younger. I mean, is like you said, the magical number of 30. He's approaching that really soon. Yeah. He's 29 years old and 343 days. So, I mean, he's just maybe where they want to move on and get younger on their team. So, and they can save a ton of cap money. So, I think that this is going to be the flavor for this offseason for a lot of teams.
I agree. And public service announcement from the Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Kyle Van Noy will not become a Lion. I'm fairly sure of that.
Looking at that, he fits that more of that 3-4 scheme, and the Lions playing a 3-3-5. He's not going to really fit into the Lions.
And just from a standpoint that we cut him before.
Yeah, I don't want to come back to Detroit. I don't think this some of the statements that he made about Detroit when he left. He went to New England. Yeah. He ain't coming back.
I mean, it's a whole new thing here, but I just don't see the fit, I think. Lions head coach Dan Campbell adopted a more aggressive mentality from Sean Payton. Now, let me clarify this, because I think Dan Campbell has had an aggressive mentality his entire life. But we're talking about fourth down situations, like a 4th and 2, stuff like that, and being aggressive, going for it in those situations. So he said, until I got to Sean as a coach, I'd tell you that I was more of a conservative type thinker as it goes into this game. Much more traditional. You run the ball, you milk the clock, the ball control, man, it's 3rd down. You're trying to get to 1st. It's 4th and 2. We're punting, all those things. You're trying to be smart, and you're not trying to make mistakes. You're trying to stay conservative because you want to win the game. And that was a big Matt Patricia thing. Ball control, all that stuff. And I love that. If you had a defense, it might even work. But but Campbell, I think he's going to be a very good head coach. He's very self-aware, and I think he takes stuff from every single coach that he's ever been with, and I think that he puts a lot of that into what he's going to do. And he looks at his own mistakes and says, yeah, it was on me. He said he went for it on 4th. It was on Pat McAfee's show. He said he went for it at like 4th down or something one time. And Tannehill couldn't, it was in Miami. Tannehill couldn't get the play right. And everything was crazy. And he mucked it all up. And he's like, wow, that went to a cluster. That's his basically direct quote right there.
Yeah.
So very self-aware, man. What do you think about Dan Campbell getting this aggressive mentality from Sean Payton?
I think he really took his role as a assistant head coach very seriously in New Orleans, and he took it upon himself to learn from his mistakes as a interim head coach down in Miami. So he learned how to be aggressive and not, really rely just on the analytic numbers. Sometimes it's going to be just an eyeball test and not have to just to rely on the numbers. And that's a quote from his interview and his appearance on Pat McAfee as well. I like the fact that he has that where he can look and be just make the eyeball test and be aggressive when he needs to be. And that was something that we definitely was lacking, because a lot of times we were like, why don't you just go for it? And we end up putting the ball in Detroit. So it's like I'm looking forward to see how that's going to translate with him as a head coach during the season.
Well, I don't plan this, but I seem to wear a shirt every single time. It's no guts, and then it says no glory here on the shirt. So I think that Dan Campbell has decided that he's going to be a little more aggressive. To me,
MCDC baby, how you gonna get down,
baby?
yeah, that's good. That's what it's gonna be. Yeah.
Okay. What do we got next? Got comment cards next. We're gonna go.
Yes.
To that.
What did you guys say about yesterday's show, Jim? What you got?
I got Anthony Bosley Bay. I'm sorry, I butchered your name. That's something we do very well here at Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Don't let Galladay leave. He will light our secondary up if he goes to Green Bay. You know what? Before this comment, I had not thought of him going to Green Bay. Oh, but it's a perfect fit. If he goes to Green Bay, I'm going to cry. I mean,
I would not like to see that at all.
I would not like to see him 2 times a year for the foreseeable future. I really don't want that to happen.
Paired up with the other wide receivers up there. Oh my God.
That would crush us, dude. I mean, we can't cover that one guy now. And why his name escapes me, I don't know, but that's just my thing too.
Yeah, it's Devontae Adams.
Adams.
With him and the man.
Oh my God! You think their offense is good now? That might get them a Super Bowl.
Chamber right there. That's the torture chamber right there. All right. Next up, we have Cassandra Brayton says, "I like the way Curt says what up, no in this video." So there you go, Cassandra. What up, no? Right for you again.
There you go. Turner Burley says, I think we take a good linebacker or a highly valued receiver. If Trey Lance is available at 7, I believe they will push the button. That is really interesting to me. Best player available is my thing, has been the whole time.
Best player available.
But I think that Trey Lance is extremely interesting. If he can sit under Jared Goff for a year, maybe 2, we might really have something in this guy. He has the wheels. I think he's a very, very good quarterback, and I think that given that little bit of seasoning, we could have something great there. We really could. I don't think you pass on it if he's there. I just don't.
Look, what kind of seasoning you want? Some lemon pepper? You want some some seasoned salt? You know what I'm saying?
Little thyme,
what you talking about?
Sage.
Little thyme? Okay. Little sage. Okay.
I'm kidding.
Bob Quinn's favorite color. All right. Making the rounds again, we have Anthony Bosley Bay again. Now, I'm gonna have to reserve this comment because I am going to laugh when I read this.
Okay. All right.
We never should have got rid of Mike Marks. What?
No, you know what? Actually, I agree with this.
What?
Yes, his hands were tied. No, his hands were tied when he was here in Detroit. He spoke out against the organization. True. He told them that they were a terrible organization. They needed to fix this, this, and this, and this. And they basically shut him up.
Very true. This is very true.
Because this is coming from John Kitna, who was the quarterback at the time. And he said, what went wrong there? And he said, well, Mike Martz wasn't able to do any of the things he wanted to bring to Detroit. They basically told him no on pretty much everything, vetoed everything he wanted to do, or pretty much everything. And I think they could have had a prolific offense if they would have listened to him. And not that we should have never gotten rid of him. I think right now that would probably not be the best hire at this point, but you know what I mean. But back then, I do think that we missed the mark there.
I understand what you're saying. I just don't think he was the long-term solution at quarterback. Head coach, I'm sorry.
I think he could have been.
You think he could have been?
I think he could have got a good 4 or 5 year run, at least, because his offense in St. Louis was called what? The greatest show on turf?
The greatest show on turf, coming from the Rams, yeah. The organization was just, and we're still, and the verdict is still out. The organization was just poor. You look at William Clay Ford and how he operated as the owner, the principal owner of the Lions. He really, to me, he treated it as an investment and not a team.
That is such a good point, because I think it's so different now with Sheila, and even with Martha, I think it changed a little bit.
Yeah,
but I think it's really changed now.
I think it was more of and there's another owner that it was an NBA owner. He treated his team the same way. It was more of an investment instead of, he wasn't worried about what the team was. Played and how they were winning, a winning culture. It was more about what he could get out of it as a financial investment. So I think that just was the play forward's approach to the Lions.
And maybe that was some of what Mike Martz was upset about. They didn't go into what he was upset about with the organization, but I know he wasn't a yes man, and I know that he had really fought the organization on some things, and he lost. And that's why he was out of here. He just like, nah.
You know what? And I don't blame him. So Anthony, you have validity to your comment.
Yeah, definitely. Zach J, I think Brad Holmes did a great job of leaving that number 7 pick open to us, taking a quarterback, by saying that this year's quarterback class is intriguing, because intriguing can mean many things. This could have been some teams could leave some teams scratching their head on what our plans are. This is an amazing point because this is what Bob Quinn did not do.
Nah, he showed his hands way too much.
Yep.
Way too much.
And what do you think about that? Do you think that by saying that we've opened ourselves up a little bit more to
a
trade value?
Possible I believe so. I think that opens us up to the possibility of having to maybe getting a trade partner.
It's possible. It also could open up Miami a little bit more.
Yes, definitely. So
we want to jump ahead of us.
Yeah, and that gives us and would leave us with more draft capital.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. All right, last one. All right, my man, you know who he is, friend of the show, Big Mike himself from OMG, it's Lions Talk. He says the Lions always undervalue defensive players like Sue and Averill. I have to disagree with the Sue deal because Lions offered him a boatload of money. It's just Miami offered him more, and it's tax-free in Florida. I mean,
Yep.
The Lions offered him a huge contract, but
they did.
It was
Averill. I would agree with.
Averill, I agree with, but Sue, the Lions were like, here they backed up the Brinks truck, and he was like, well, this big Brinks truck doesn't have any tax on it, so I'm
headed to, plus Miami doesn't have what's called winter. So
winter.
It could have been a factor. I don't know. But I agree with that. OMG, it's Lions Talk. Always good to hear from you. And now for me, I think that I want to go into thanking a bunch of people, and I want to honestly thank the DSA. We don't mention that a lot, and we really should. We're part of the DSA, which is the Detroit Sports Alliance. Luke G, Detroit Drew, all my people up there, Andrew and Rico.
313 J-Mo.
313 J-Mo. Yeah. And all the people there, CA3 Sports. We have the links below. If you could subscribe to their channels too, it would we would really appreciate that. Those guys work really hard at what they do, and can't forget Rachel Marie Sports. What am I thinking? Oh
man, she
puts together some good stuff. So I just wanted to shout out my DSA family on this show, and then also to thank all the people that have showed up yesterday for our 11 o'clock premiere. That was amazing. We really appreciate you. And also, thanks for bearing with us as we kind of flip time spots for a couple of days, trying to find the best mix. We're back home at 11, so we're going to stay back home at 11. We do have some changes coming, and there's a big announcement coming tomorrow. So make sure you tune into that show tomorrow because we have a big announcement to make, and it is going to change the show. We're going to have so much fun. It's going to enhance the show. We're going to have a good time. So I just want to make sure that you guys all are aware of that. We have a big announcement coming tomorrow. And now I'm going to throw it over to Curt for the Dessert with Curt.
All right. So it is a quote, and it's so magical from one Mr. Dan Campbell. If you didn't check him out on Pat McAfee, go over to Pat McAfee's YouTube channel and check out the show from yesterday and Dan Campbell's appearance. But the magical quote of the day for the dessert was that the reason he picked the former players to be coaches on his team, he said, because due to COVID-19, some of the coaches may have to suit up and play some games for the Lions. That is the most magical quote.
That was hilarious.
He's like, hey, I might have to, put some of those guys and suit them up so they can play because of the coach. What? Who says that?
That was funny.
It is hilarious.
But then he said Antoine Randall could probably throw the ball. So you still got Mark Brunell. You still got Allen. You got a lot of good players on this team.
Yeah, to suit them up.
Sign him.
He is. Go over there and check out his appearance. It was so entertaining and so great. I mean, even gave some love to the resident Lions fan over there on Pat McAfee show, Foxy. So, I mean, let's go over there and check it out. But that's my dessert for the day. Dan Campbell's appearance and his quotes on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. Dan Campbell is a gem when it comes to media.
We really, like I said, we appreciate each and every one of you that rock with us. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're just kind of checking us out, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when another wonderful show comes out from us. And we're going to be doing some different things. So, just hit that bell so you know when a new show comes out. Pretty much you know when they come out. But, do it for me. Okay, now we're going to go to my co-host, Curt, and we're going to close the show out for today.
All right, it is time to close the show, but you know what you need to do. Don't be afraid. Join the family. Hey, subscribe to the channel. We don't got fans. We don't got viewers. We got family, and it's all love right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Go over and check us out over on bellyupsports.com as well. You can find the audio version of this show right there on the website, and you can check out more podcasts over there. They have a ton of different podcasts you can listen to, different sports. Just a ton of talent over there. You have some talented writers that write some hard-hitting journalistic articles as well for your pleasure over there on bellyupsports.com. And you can listen to the audio version on some Skull Candy headphones. We have some new deals coming out that's going to be in the description below. Click the link below, and a portion of your sales from that link go to help us grow this channel. Now, it's Thursday. It's about to get hot and heavy. Free agency's coming up. Cuts are coming. We love this time of year, right?
Yes,
here.
We do.
Detroit Lions on the Prowl. So as you go about your day and the rest of your life, you know what you got to do. Whatever you do, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. From my man Jim, right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. This is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon.